We're back with another developer update, a series of posts outlining some of the upcoming changes in Dead by Daylight. You read that title correctly, this is part 1. There's so much to cover at this time around, we couldn't fit on all in one post. Killer updates. The Trapper. Starting off things with a bang, we've made a series of small changes to Trapper. Did you know the number of bear traps that spawn on the map is random? Now you can take this interesting little fact and completely forget about it, because it's no longer how it works now. 6 traps will always spawn, not including the traps you're always carrying. I didn't know that. Having more traps is great and all, but we'd like to carry more than 1 without add-ons. We sure think so. The Trapper will now be able to carry and start with 2 bear traps by default. This is the change everyone has been waiting for the past 3 years, man. 4 years, 5 years. Trapper's been needing this for forever. But the thing is, with this being base kit, it allows all the trappers to be able to set up their early game really quickly. You put traps around an area where you're going to chase a survivor to, you have enough ammunition to take down the gamers. Tension Spring, a bear trap resets 2 seconds after a survivor escapes from it. Say there's a survivor, right? The killer walks as a survivor in the trap, and let's say if the survivor wants to disarm the trap again, they need to wait an extra 2 seconds after escaping the trap. There's going to be this fear of like, oh, the killer's coming. I can't disarm the trap again. Trapper Sack, a crude leather sack suitable for foraging. All bear traps are carried at the beginning of the trial. Instead of spawning them out, bear traps cannot be picked up. Oh, the Trapper update for this patch is a 10 out of 10. Okay. Spirit has been a strong killer since her release, and with that in mind, we may add some changes to increase her skill ceiling whilst giving survivors some counterplay. To add more into Spirit's counterplay, any survivor within 24 meters of the Spirit will now hear a directional phase sound. Lets you know when she's phasing and also gives you a rough idea which direction she's come from. This is a massive nerf to Spirit. When Huntress of the Lullaby was directional, you always knew what she was doing. You always knew what direction she was going. That's a big ol' slap the Spirit to any form of like fighting mind game that the Spirit has close up. The phase noise being directional for 24 meters might be a little too big, but I know there's a lot of people that hate Spirit. I'd say like 70% of the community is happy with that. Maybe more. The Spirit's footsteps will now kick up dust while she's phasing. Keen survivors will be able to pinpoint where she is, but tall grass and other obstacles will make it difficult. This is also huge. You can now track her as if she has scratch marks. I think BH3R did something great here. They made it so that, like, let's say you're a very inexperienced survivor, it doesn't really change the gameplay of survivors who don't really have a problem with like the high-tech Spirit counterplay stuff. Like, if you're new to Dead by Daylight, facing Spirits is going to be difficult no matter what. You probably won't be that in tune with all these types of things. So it doesn't really affect them. But what this really does is it affects the very veteran players, the players that have been playing for a very long time, and mostly the players that complain a lot about Spirit in general. The changes help the people who complain about her a lot, whilst making her fun and more mind-gamey, while not really impacting the people that are new to the game. Wakazashi Saya. During Yamaoka hunting, use the active ability button to return to the husk and end the haunting. Okay, so it's like a return back to the phased area. Gives the Spirit a little bit more ability to mind game. Keep the survivor on their toes, while not making the survivor feel like, oh, where is she going? Blind guessing, predict, all this stuff. When the Yamaoka haunting ends, the Spirit's husk explodes, and any vault locations within 4 meters are blocked for 5 seconds. This is going to be a huge add-on because the Spirit phases, and then she could just block anything that's close by. So she can block out like the Haddonfield windows or the shack. This will give Spirit a lot of counterplay on the big maps that are correlated to infinites. I think this is good compensation. But we changed some add-ons for the following killers: Hillbilly, Nurse, Shape, Hag, Oni, Blight, Wraith, Pig, Ghostface. Not Huntress, let's go! They didn't change anything about Huntress. That's sick! Is going to look at the developer update part 2. Currently, there's almost no delay between aiming down sights to be able to fire your weapon. Likewise, there's no delay between canceling your shot and going for a basic attack. It's great to lose the situation for the survivors where there is nothing they can realistically do to avoid getting hit. With that in mind, we made the following changes. You can no longer shoot until you're fully aimed down sights, increase the delay after canceling your shot before you can start a basic attack, and decrease the movement speed penalty while aiming down sights. I'll be honest with you, Deathslinger is not a crazy good killer. I think he's personally a mid-tier killer, but I honestly hope that they have some sort of compensation to actually make it so that, like, we're not just like, gutting him like that, you know? We felt it was only fair to increase his movement speed while aiming down sights to compensate. This will cause you to lose less ground and keep up the spread for longer. That is a good change. We've decided to increase Deathslinger's tire radius to 32 meters. We've also gone throughout Deathslinger's add-ons, give them small buffs, least used / powerful ones. The Plague has been in the game for a while now. Haven't seen a whole lot of change, but that ends today. We're making a series of quality of life changes that would make her more effective and fun to play. We're adding an additional penalty. We're adding English is so hard. We're adding an additional penalty to interacting with something that is concurrently infected, meaning your infection will increase faster than before. Additionally, we increase base infection duration in objects like generators from 35 seconds to 40 seconds. This is a buff that Plague is needed. Next, we turn to her Vile Purge. The Plague takes a massive hit to her movement speed when she is on cooldown after purging or canceling her purge. We've increased her movement speed from 2.3 milliseconds while on cooldown to 3.6. That's really good. One of the things that felt really bad for killers was when you get let get out of your. One of the things that felt really bad for the killers was when you let get of your power button. When you let go of your power button. Okay, I see. A little too soon, causing your power to be canceled entirely. In the previous one, they said that the developer fell asleep while typing. Because they're like, hey dude, here's some paperwork. Oh, write an essay on this, you know? I mean, there's going to be some typos, but this is a good update, so I honestly don't care if there's grammatical errors. One of the things that felt bad for killers when you let go of your power button a little too soon, causing your power to be canceled entirely. Now tapping the button or letting go before the minimum threshold causes your power to continue charging until the minimum amount has been fully reached. Basically, it works now like a Huntress Hatchet. Prayer Tablet, Vile Purge no longer affects survivors. Increase object infection duration by 40 seconds. Increase infection from infected objects by 100%. Increase devious points by 100%. And like, don't touch the dirty stuff. It kind of turns her ability into a corrupt intervention. Oh, look, shiny thing. Bah. Oh, look, oh, this thing. That's an interesting add-on. Survivors who cleanse at fountains have their auras revealed for 4 seconds. I could see a lot of people that play Plague to just use that as like base. Survivor item add-ons update. Each survivor add-on will now list their effects in numbers, rather than descriptive items like moderately, considerably, and so on. Additionally, the add-ons will grant a status effect will have a brief description of what the status effect does. It's just like a nice like quality of life thing. Windows of opportunity. Much like Zanshin Tactics, we're removing the cooldown from this perk entirely. We're also increasing the range from 24, 28 to 32 as well. Go away, cooldown, we don't want anymore. And the one thing I said, I was like, there shouldn't be a cooldown for this. It should just let you see where the vaults are. Repressed Alliance has more potential to save a good chunk of progress when timed well, but due to the high requirements for the perk to activate, you now often be ready to time it when you need it. With that said, we reduce the time required to activate the perk to 55, 50, and 45 seconds. So instead of having to repair the generator for 60 seconds, you only need to repair it for 45 seconds. And I honestly think that might be a little too strong. This perk shipped with fairly safe numbers, and we couldn't let it get out of hand, but ended up making it a pretty unpopular choice. We've reworked it to make it far more effective as what it's meant to do. Hiding in a locker for 14, 13, 12 seconds with a depleted item in hand will cause it to refill 99% of its charges. Each use of Built to Last reduces the number of charges refilled by 33. It would refill 99% of its charges. What did it do last time? Once per trial, your carried item will refill 30 to 40 to 50% of its charges 10 seconds after having depleted it. What is the most amount of charges you can have on a toolbox DBD? So the maximum amount of charges you can have in a toolbox is 52 charges. When you go into a locker, you basically have 104 charges of a toolbox. Remember back in the day when they nerfed toolboxes because the generators would go down too quickly? This perk basically revives the old playstyle of gen rushing with toolboxes. I personally don't like it, and you'd be like, Coconut, they have to hide in a locker for 12 seconds. We're talking like fast gens in a short period of time. There's builds right now in Survivor where people can actually complete their heal in 4 seconds tops. And imagine they have like botany knowledge and all the healing perks. They heal really quickly for 4 seconds, instant heal. Heal again, heal. And like, I don't know how many times they can heal people. Let's say 2 to 3 times. Instead of getting these 4-second heals only twice, they're going to get 4 times. It's going to double the amount of times they can use it. This buff, in particular, is going to be extremely problematic. It's going to bring back the old generator problems that we used to have. And for the medkits, it's going to create a new problem. I don't know how to counter 4 people that can like instantly heal each other and within 4 seconds 4 times. I'm just like, what? Maybe I'm like a little bit over exaggerating, but like that's too much. Any means necessary. Yeah, so as soon as you're able to pick up pallets, you see the auras of all pallets. And they're buffing no Mither. We've increased the grunts of pain reduction to 25, 50, 75%, and we've added additional 15, 20, 25% increased recovery speed on the dying state. Good on them. I feel like this is a bit much needed warrant change. Mindbreaker, Fearmonger. Survivors who are working in general now suffer from the blindness in addition to exhaustion. This is great. This is great. It takes a perk that I feel like I would never use, and I'd be like, okay, I could see myself using it against like a good 4-man Swift. Hatchet and keys. First, the hatch will no longer spawn if there's more than 1 survivor in the trial. This means you'll never have to worry about the last 3 survivors vanishing when there's still one generator left. This is really huge. Chinese fire drill. Everyone in, everyone in. 200 people in the building. Bam, no one's in the building. Additionally, the hatch will take a few seconds to open with a key once it's closed. Progress does not reset when the server cancels the interaction. This eliminates the problem where server can simply sprint to the hatch and instantly open it and escape. This is great. They have a key, and then there's a closed hatch, right? And the survivor's like, teabag, 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 teabag. So they're changing where they go, which is all 4 survivors escape through the hatch. I got that, by the way. To escape through the hatch using a key. I don't like this. Because everyone and their mothers is going to be going for this achievement. And I know a lot of people don't have this achievement. It's going to suck for the first week that this is out. As promised in the Anniversary Line broadcast, we've introduced some new gameplay around totems. This will add an extra objective in the map, much like killer hex totems are tied to survivor perks. Survivors will now be able to bless the totem to change it to a Boon Totem, and these blessings are designed to offer comfort to the survivor team, a small safe haven. Unlike a hex totem, the killer can quickly interact with a created Boon Totem to completely remove the associated blessing. Each survivor can only have 1 Boon Totem activated at a time. This Boon Totem will combine the effects of all of their equipped boon perks. Look at this. This Boon Totem will combine the effects of all their equipped boon perks. I'm gonna play this teaser. Double toil and trouble. Now, I'll be honest. I think BHPR just leaked something. Stop looping! I don't want ASMR. This Boon Totem will combine the effects of all of their equipped boon perks. Now, after seeing this sneak peek of what they're releasing, this makes me think that a new survivor in Dead by Daylight is confirmed soon. It might come with the PTB. Boon Totems are tied to survivor, right? So if Boon Totems are tied to survivor, and there are no Boon Totems in the game, and now there's going to be Boon perks, this trailer is a guarantee that a new survivor is coming soon that will introduce this new Boon perk mechanic. But it seems like they're almost guaranteeing that there is a new survivor coming soon. When we have a game like Dead by Daylight that doesn't have any Boon survivor perks in it, it almost guarantees to say, we're going to release a survivor that has Boon Totem perks. With that, we've come to an end with the developer update of all the changes mentioned in the 2-part post, and more will be available for testing in this week's player test build. We'll be looking forward to hearing what you think. And until next time, the Dead by Daylight team. I'm excited, dudes.